Hello and welcome to Spirit Island with Jonathan, and welcome to this third game in this campaign series where an AI play various matchups with ever increasing difficulty. But before we start this third game, let's take a look at the last game where we played Vengeance versus Sweden Zero with a Blitz scenario. There was a couple of things that we learned in that game. First and foremost, we played this rule incorrectly, or the client was implemented incorrectly here and gave 1 energy for slow innates. That should not be the case. They should only give energy for fast powers, of course. So that's something that we have fixed. Now, this didn't change the actual outcome for this game. After I made the change, I tested to see how it went, and there was not much difference. The only thing that happens here that was a difference is that he couldn't have afford to play Strike Low with Sudden Fevers in the last turn, and that means the invaders did ravage. But since we have a Fear Victory here, there is nothing that the Blight card can do to make us not lose, to make us not win. So that was not a big issue. But that has been fixed now with the Blitz rule there. There was a couple of other things that can be interesting to look at. We had one thing in the Explore here in turn 2. Here we are playing Blitz, so we have an additional Explorer when exploring. And when he explored here, we have an escalation. And since we are playing Sweden here, it means that if the land has at least as many invaders as the Han, we should replace the Han with the town. So the first land that is explored will have an extra explorer. So he, for example, if we explore here, we will have 2 explorers here, and then 1 Dahan will be converted due to the escalation effect. And then 1 explorer here.
Time passes. Turn 3. Grow phase.
But what he could have done here is he could have added 2 explorers here instead. Just 1 explorer here, and then no Dahan would be converted. Sorry. So why did he do that? Why didn't he play it here first? Turns out that it was just an easy optimization that I made, so that this kind of ordering of explorers always go in land order. This is just to reduce the search space a little bit. But luckily we can change that. I have changed it now a little bit so that when he actually get to this turn, he will look at all options. But if we are earlier in the turn and he do the simulation, then he does it in the order and do this optimization. But so from now on, he will be a little bit smarter there. So he would have picked this land and saved 1 Dahan. Right, and then finally we had in turn 6 here fast phase. I think it was somewhere around here. We had the opportunity to do damage and we didn't. So this has been fixed. If always do damage if possible. This is a change that we have made to the AI. Also, this turn is a rather interesting turn, I think. Yeah, here. We are at turn 6. We can choose a major power here. We only need to get rid of this city. And I'm sure many of you saw many solutions to win here. One easy solution is to pick Vanish Softly. This just remove 1 invader. And since we are playing Blitz, we can do this in fast phase. So that just simply removes this city. Very easy solution. There is also another solution that doesn't involve these measures at all. We can just simply push one disease with plague bearers. If we play plague bearers here in land 7, we can push that explorer and bring that disease with us to land 6 to get 2 diseases in here. And since the blight is counted as a badlands, we can do 3 damage with epidemics run rampant with just the first level. So we just need to make sure that we hit that level, and we do that with plague bearers and something that gives an animal. And we do have energy to do that. So yeah, so that was another solution. So why did the AI choose Inspire the release of stolen lands? Well, it turns out that he usually weights more the elements that he gets than other things, and this just happened to have an animal which the other didn't have, so it was a slightly better element-wise choice. But he didn't really search for solutions here. Now I have changed it so that he will search for solutions when we are at a stage that is close to the end. For example, now we are at stage 3 and we are at fear level 3. So now he doesn't really use the element so much as what can the power do in itself. Can we win here? So if we change that logic, then he will more often than not pick Vanish Softly Away. And we can just for fun just test it and see if it now picks the right one. Let's see what he picks now. He didn't pick Vanish Softly, but that can be because he found that other solution. Let's see if he
Play
finds
powers.
that. He played Strike Low and Plague Bearers. And this means he has this innate, and that means he can do this plan that I talked about.
Fast powers.
Let's see if he actually finds it. No. Here he could have moved this one and pushed that disease in here. So that was unfortunate. I think this will not work. No, he needs to do it from here. Let's give him one more chance. I think he will find it. Yeah. The number of simulation that is done, that is doing, is rather limited because I want it to be rather fast. So if I give him more time to think, he will usually find the correct solution. Now I think he will easily find it. This doesn't matter. That doesn't matter, and then we have finally, he will find the correct here. So 2 damage from the disease and then 1 extra from the Badlands. So yeah, we hit the AI button twice there because he made a mistake. But yeah, the AI has limits, but he will sometimes he will find the correct solutions. Well, that was last game. Let's see how it works in the next game. And we are at campaign 3. Now this is a game I haven't played it again yet. We resume campaign, and if you have followed from the beginning, you will know a little bit how this campaign system works. We get 4 encounters and we get 4 spirits, and we get to choose which spirit to use where. And those spirits that we have already used, they will be they are left in the pool and will get back if we win with them. If we lose, they will be retired and we cannot use them again. So these are our complete pool of spirits that we can use, and when we run out of spirits, the campaign is over and we can see how much score we got. Now we have four spirits here. We have Keeper, Eyes Watch from the Trees from the Horizon expansion, and we have 2 new spirits from the Nature Incarnate expansion. All of these 4 spirits are powerful. From the AI's perspective, I know that all of these have made good progress against adversaries. They have been able to win high-level adversaries. So I think this is going to be a fun game. Let's see what encounters we have. First we have Sweden 1. That's difficulty 2 then, adding this effect, which is not that dangerous unless we get also with fine steels and tools and guns. So that I'm not too worried about. 2 players here, or we can pick Prussia at 1. This adds just 1 more town and a very kind of easy escalation effect. We also have 2-player level 0 France with only the base escalation effect and the loss condition. It's a rather nasty loss condition. And then we have, well, almost the same thing here, but with just another configuration. The Africa configuration, if you want. So from these, now I'm going to play this as, let's pick whatever I think has highest chance to win. Because, yeah, that's how I'm going to play it. So I will pick the easiest difficulty 2 encounter that I think is best for the spirits. And from this, I think that I will choose Prussia. This escalation effect is not that bad if you compare to Sweden. And if we have France, we have this loss condition, with which I think is much worse. But Prussia escalation effect can be, since this is in the end of a turn, we get an escalation effect. We can place 1 town at almost any land. It just doesn't have to have in a land without town. But we have a choice here, which can actually be beneficial because we will have the turn right after. We have a fast power. We can maybe get some fear out of this. We can plan where we want to place that town. Can actually be beneficial to place this town. Doesn't have to be a town in a ravaging land or a building land. We can just place it where we want. Sometimes it's a good escalation. So and this fast start is just 1 extra town. That's nothing. So let's pick Prussia 2 or Prussia level 1 here with difficulty 2. And what about the spirits? Now I think it could be fun to play the Nature Incarnate spirits perhaps. Behemoth and Hearth Vigil is both 2 very potent spirits. So let's do that, I think. So we have them like that. Let's think about where they are starting. Put 3 on the starting board in the highest numbered land with the Han. So this starts in the same land, so it's kind of important where it starts. We want them to be central, so we have a good many choices where to move. So it is in the highest numbered land with the Han. One in the highest numbered land and 2 in the lowest numbered land. So the 2 in the lowest numbered land may be the most important one, with at least 2 the Han. Okay, so where do we want that? And in the lowest, land with Dahan, that's 1, right? Or we get it here. Seems like it should be better to have two presents here rather than this corner here. Now this will be in a city here. City land. That could be beneficial to have the Dahan or the presence starting in the land with city. If I'm not mistaken, that should happen. 2 in the lowest lumber with at least 2 Dahan. Okay, sorry. So that means it will be this land or it will be this land then. So from this, it seems like it should be better to have them here. That's a much more central position. What about Behemoth? Behemoth will start in the highest numbered wetland. Your starting board that is adjacent to any jungle. So it will be in the highest numbered wetland that is adjacent to any jungle. Highest numbered wetland, it should be this one. Otherwise it will be that one. So yeah, starting here should be better than starting here and here. So the way it is now is probably the best setup for us. So let's go with that. Let's see if we actually plan correctly here. When I click start, let's see if the presence is here and here.
Initial explore. Wetlands.
Yeah, it seems like that is what we have planned for. So yeah, let's move on with this game then.
Turn 1. Grow phase.
So first we have strides. On any turn that you don't use innate powers, you may use the Behemoth Rises an additional time. Now why does he play strides already here? So this is something that I thought that I had fixed, that he wouldn't use strides. So I'm a little bit surprised that he actually plays strides here. Because what happens if we let the AI play this power, or this is a special rule. On any turn you don't use your inner power, you may use this Behemoth Rises. That's basically just pushing things, the Incarna, one land, or move it. If we let him do that, he sometimes, okay, let's use that, and then he uses up his innate so that he cannot use it. Because if you do this, you cannot use the innate later. And sometimes he gets confused and he thinks that, okay, but why not play that? And then he plays very poorly. So I had blacklisted him from playing that Unrelenting Strides, but now it seems like he actually plays it, which make me think that it is a recent change. So let me just go and check why that is, and let's check and let's fix that before continuing here, because yeah, let's blacklist these strides, because otherwise Behemoth will play very poorly. So I will be right back and fix that. And I'm back, and now he shouldn't use strides anymore, hopefully. So let's continue with the game. It starts with second growth option, bottom track, in the jungle. We have the Behemoth Rises. Now this is an ability he should use. This is the first thing, but he should only use it once then per turn. And he chose to push his Incarna toward the Hearth Vigil board. We have one more growth option, that's is top track. Also in this land. And Hearth Vigil opens with third growth option. Now I kind of did that twice, but the first choice was third growth option, so let's go with that. And bottom track. And he put it in here to make a sacred site. He gathers one Dahan in one of his lands. So he has to pick one land first and foremost. Pick this land. And then he can gather one Dahan. And get 3 energy. And then we have, yeah, this is the stride spirit action that is skipping.
Play powers.
So let's see what they are playing. Terrifying Rampage and Exaltation of Grasping Roots. And Hearth Vigil go Call to Vigilance and Surrounded by the Dahan.
Fast powers.
Might be an idea to remind us how these spirits works before going further. Hearth Vigil, of course, is all about the Dahan. If we have Dahan, light doesn't destroy our presence, and the presence makes Dahan have more health, +4 health. And they also event and black cards don't damage, destroy, or replace Dahan in your lands. So it's a give and take. Dahan and presence, they love to be in the same lands. When all Dahan leave one of your lands, and it has to be all of the Dahan, it's not just one. So, but if we leave completely one land, we may move presence with those Dahan. Similar to Thunder Speaker, but this is just when all Dahan leave one of your lands. And we can, notably, we can do that with this innate here, moving Dahan. So that's one common way we move around Dahan. So let's see what Behemoth, how he works. He's very simple, really. He has to have this special rule that he can do once, that just pushes or moves his Incarna, which he has one of. And at his Incarna he can do a lot of damage if he has the elements. So yeah, it's a rather straightforward spirit, but can be very effective. Hearth Vigil is more complex and very reactive, so that is something that the AI loves. You can find simple solution that is short-term solutions to whatever happens. It doesn't have to build an elaborate plan, so that can work very well with the AI. So let's move on and see which power they play or resolve. We have Keep Watch for new incursions, which means he can choose one land here to move Dahan 2 from a land of his. For example, here it seems like he wants to move those Dahan in here, maybe, or at least 2 of them. He does move 2 Dahan in here, which is a bit strange, but since we don't know what this jungle is about, why does he move everything in here? Maybe he has some plan. Terrifying Rampage. And this seems like he don't participate in Ravage, of course, pointless since we don't have it Ravage. This is just about getting that fear and pushing that to Dahan. He pushed it in here, where it will Ravage next turn. And we have Surrounded by the Dahan. We played it here, which means we will get 3 fear since Dahan outnumbers the town. And And then we don't have any more powers.
Event. Build wetlands.
The skipped event card was Struggle of Growth, and then he built in Wetlands.
Explore sands. Slow powers.
And this was isolated. That came from... where did that came from? That came from this one, right? No? Where did that isolate came from? Here, surrounded by the Dahan, of course. So that's why he didn't explore there. And now we have slow powers. First we get a Wiles. Where does he want it? Hearth Vigil is the target spirit. And he used it here. And then we get to add one more Wiles. He added it here. And then we have Smash, Stomp, and Flatten. To take care of that town. Which he for some reason desperately wanted to kill. Then we have Call to Vigilance. So we get to push one town that can take care of that city build.
Time passes. Turn 2. Grow phase.
Which is a good play, I think. Always good to prevent those city builds, of course. And now Behemoth grabs a power card. And he grabs a major. Can be a bit surprising, but we will have 3 energy here and 1 energy here. So that might not be too bad. Let's see what we get here. We got Unearth a Beast of Wrathful Stone. Seems like that should fit in his theme at least, but also his elements. Also land Thrashes is fire and stone, so one of these should probably be the correct choice here. He chose Unearth a Beast of Wrathful Stone. I don't blame him, that's a very powerful major. And he lost Blazing Intimidation. Unfortunately, he will not have enough power. Well, he will have enough energy if he opens up top track here to play Unearth, it seems like. Let's see if he does that. First he went with Behemoth Rises. He pushed it here. The presence. Well, top track. Put it here. Then he has 2 sacred sites, so he has a lot of targets here for Unearth. If that is what he's going for. Let's see which one he discards. He discards Surging Lahar, so it seems like he's going to play that major. Interesting. And then we have Hearth Vigil, starts with Gather One Dahan. He doesn't have to, but he does that, seems like. And then he went with some growth option, which is gaining a power card also. He went Miner. And Gold's Allure. Why not? Top track. And in the land that is Ravaging, which is interesting, then probably he has some plan for that. We gain energy, we skip
Play powers.
Strides, and now hopefully he plays Unearth, or this is just very weird. Yeah, he did that. What about Arth Vigil. Played Favors of Story and Season. And Gold's Allure. Maybe he found something with this power then. Well, for one, it hits his innate here. That's good, but it also has Earth. Maybe he has use of that, but he will hit that even without that. So yeah, let's see what Gold's Allure is about. Maybe it's preventing a build, probably.
Fast powers.
He starts with Favors of Story and Season. Can gather up to 3 Dahan into one of their lands. And this is target another, so this is target Behemoth, so he can gather 3 Dahan in here. So that will set up a counter attack here. One Dahan from here. Is that enough? No, he wants both Dahan. Right, and then we have what else? Warn of impending conflict. In one of your lands, 1 Dahan deals 1 damage before invaders during ravages. Could, for example, use that here to make sure that this town dies before he can blight the land. Then he gets up to 2 Dahan from your lands. And he wants to do it here. Right, so that sets up some Dahan for next turn, perhaps. And then we have Unearth a Beast of Wrathful Stone. And what this does is, after the invader phase, on any turn with no Ravage build action in target land, 3 fear, 12 damage, add 1 beast. You may push that beast 1 fear and 2 damage in this land. So it does a lot of damage, but it doesn't happen immediately unless we play it in a place where there are no Ravage or build action. So we have to pick a target land here, and it has to be one from a sacred site, and it has to have invaders. So all of these will be either ravaging or building, so it will take a while before this monster is unearthed. Let's see which target land it chooses. It chose this land here. So this is going to happen sometime in the future. It will be quite a few turns before we get there. So if he's smart, he will push a lot of invaders into that land then for that 12 damage. Let's see if he is smart enough to do that.
Event.
And then we have, for the rest of this turn, ignore Strife. Doesn't really matter. Then we have to destroy 2 Explorer among lands with Beast. So the way this works is, first we have to decide which board to do this on. And on this board we don't have any Beast with Explorers. Here we have one. We have to choose this one. Then we have, when invader ravage, if the land has Dahan, defend 2. Now that would solve this one. Even without Arth Vigil's innate. Here we will have some defend. This will not be saved, I think, because this is damage 4. We only have defend 2.
Ravage. Wetlands.
So let's see in which order he do the ravages here. Here we have 1 damage and enough damage to kill those. Here we simply have Blight. Here it seems like the Dahan will die. We have a blight. And here we probably will be able to do that. Innate in one of your lands, deal damage before. Does this matter? It doesn't really matter, I think. Maybe we will get 1 damage if we don't. We skip that. He will do 1 damage to him, and then we can kill the town, hopefully. Yeah.
Build, sends.
We beat the town, and then invaders build. And we have prevented 2 builds here. So that's good, and so we only have 2 towns here.
Explore, jungles.
And then we have a jungle explorer. Here we have wilds.
Slow powers.
Then we have some slow powers here. Just gold soldier, which adds strife. And we can gather 1 explorer in here. He wants to gather this, I'm imagining. Yeah. And he has to gather a town. He gathers that one. And then he can add strife. Hopefully he adds it on the town. Yes. And then we have stamp, stomp, and flatten, which can take care of that ravage here.
Time passes.
And now we have something happening at the end of turn here. They gain 1 energy and may reclaim 1 power card instead of discarding it at the end of turn. So he can only play it, can only return this power. Since this was the only one he played, so but he can also skip because it's optional. And he skipped that. Why did he do that? If they have at least 3 Dahan among their lands, surely we have that. So why does he skip that? That seems incorrect. Surely it is better to get this on hand than to discard it. Okay, so that's something we can look up later. Seems weird. We should definitely reclaim that one.
Turn 3, grow phase.
Let's go back and check that later. Right, so now he is playing second growth option, even though all his cards are discarded, as you can see here. So that means he's simply developing his presence. Can be a good idea and not play any powers. I'm assuming that is what he's doing here. To get some energy for the reclaim next turn. Now he's starting to go bottom track. He moves the Incarna. This could, for example, be a good opportunity for him to use strides, or at least let him use strides if he doesn't play any powers, so that he doesn't have the innate. So that is something I could consider adding. If he cannot play the innate, maybe allow him to play the strides if we are getting to the point where he doesn't play any powers. Let's consider that. But for now it is blacklisted, so he will not play that. Hearth Vigil played play a power or gain a power. Now he goes for a major, and he found bargains of power and protection. That seems just like his kind of power. This plays with Dahan, which he has extra of. It is his elements. So this is a rather perfect card for him, I think. And then he gathers 1 honey into one of your lands. And add a presence to a land with Han. Top track. You add it to the coast.
Play powers.
And Behemoth doesn't have any powers to play. Hearth Vigil, play Coordinated Raid, and hopefully Bargains of Power Protection. No. Why didn't he do that? He had 3 energy. He could have played that. Why doesn't he do that? Maybe he's worried about the energy cost. But that's really silly. Well, this is what the AI played. That is something we can look also into later. Let's see if we use it in the later turns, or if we just ignore to play it all together. That would be kind of silly.
Fast powers.
First he played Warn of Impending Conflict. Let's see where he can use that. We don't really have a good target for that, unless he moves his Han or his presence somehow. He can do that with Keep Watch. Place that here. Now he has the option to actually bring his presence with him, which seems is something that he did. Now he will build here, so it makes sense that he wants to be there.
Event.
And now we get missionaries arrive. We do have 2 sun, so that's good if we want to pay for this second option. We have 3 energy here and some power. We have Bargains of Power Protection we can discard perhaps. And Behemoth also has a lot of energy, so he can pay for this if he wants to. Let's see if he does. He does pay for it, which is good because otherwise this will keep coming back. I like that. So we have 2 sun paid already, but we have to pay 4 energy per player. So let's see how he pays for it. He starts with paying energy. And then he went Behemoth 1 energy. So it seems like he mostly pays this with energy. He discarded 1 power from hand here. Yeah, he discarded Bargains of Power Protection to get 2 worth of energy, and then he has simply 1 more energy left to pay. So yeah, he paid with energy and 1 discard. So what does this give us? First we have 1 disease to a land with city. Added that here. So that's per spirit, so we may add 1 more. Then we have 2 fear per player, that's 4 fear. And then during the next normal damage, cities do +3 damage. That doesn't do anything for us. Each beast destroys 1 explorer, doesn't do anything either.
Fear.
Then we have during the next normal build, skip the lowest numbered land matching the invader card on each board. So that's excellent. During the next normal build, so that build will be skipped then. And here we already skipped both builds. So that means we only have this build done.
Ravage. Sends.
And for the Ravage, here we have this is the Unearthed Beast. So here we don't have any protection. So this will be a cascade then. And where does he want to cascade this? He kind of destroyed that presence without reason, I think. He could have cascaded it here to avoid that or something.
Build. Jungles.
Then we have the build.
Explore.
Like I said,
Wetlands.
it's just this one that is building. And here we have an escalation, and here we can decide where to put that town. He wants to gather them all at the coast. And here then, where do we want the town?
Slow powers.
He put it in the land with invaders. So this can do 2 damage. That took care of the Ravage next turn. Do we have any more slow powers? I think this is it.
Time passes. Turn 4. Grow phase.
So we are at turn 4. And so far it looks rather good. We have only this Ravage to take to consider, but then we are starting to get some problem lands here. This turn we will have this guy turning up, kill some invaders here, and do 2 damage in an adjacent land. Let's see what growth option he chooses. Now we reclaimed. And he pushed his behemoth. To the land that is building, kind of makes sense. And gain a power card. Minor. And he wanted Rain of Blood. Now this is a good card. This is 3 fear usually. And costs 0 energy. Doesn't have our elements, but none of these powers seems good for that. So why not pick Rain of Blood then? We have so few fear cards to go through, so cards like this becomes really powerful. Hearth Vigil also picks a minor, and he goes with Infested Aquifers. 1 damage to each, or 1 fear and add 1 disease. I'm not sure why he picked that. I don't really like this power that much, because usually diseases is removed so quickly, and it's just 1 fear for 1 energy. Let's see if we can find something to do with that one. The presence from bottom track this time. So he added it here, where he will build now and Ravage next turn. Interesting. And then gather Wandahan. So he wants to gather maybe this one or this one. Okay. one more Dahan into the land with the jungle for some reason. A bit mysterious.
Play powers.
Let's see what they are playing for powers. Behemoth goes Rain of Blood. Perhaps this again. Yes. And Hearth Vigil didn't reclaim, so he has only one power to play. That is Infested Aquifers. Now, this is kind of mysterious what he's going with there.
Fast powers.
At least that gives him keep watch for new incursions, so maybe that's why pick that power to get that animal. So he can gather 2 of those. He chose to only gather 1 and left the other put there in the empty jungle. And Behemoth unearth another beast somewhere. Now that makes more sense, because this will unearth immediately and kill all of those invaders. So that is a good target. So when exactly is this unearthing? That after the next invader phase. So it depends on whether he explores in that sands then, because he can explore it here. 1 of 4 possibilities is sands.
Event.
Population rises. Here we add 1 town. On each board. So I like that he adds it here, because it will die unless there is an explore in mountains. On each board add 1 disease to sands or mountain with the most towns or cities. Now that may be good for our infested aquifers. But he's going to use it here. It seems like that's the only valid target. And this will probably die from that beast. Right, but it was on each board. So we get an additional disease there. And then we get some energy here.
Ravage. Jungles.
1 energy each. So we have some ravages. This seems like it should be easy. And here we have some damage. We have a blighted island. So what does this do? Burn brightest before the end. Each spirit adds 1 presence to one of their lands or removes 1 presence from the presence track. Presence removed from presence decks go to the broken supply. This is just 2 blight per player, so it's rather a small pool here, but we get 1 presence from our tracks. He should always pick this option, hopefully, but he actually thought there, so he can pick this also. That would be silly. So he went top track, put it here, and that is one of his land because Behemoth is there and counts as a presence. And Hearth Vigil, what does he do? He also add 1 presence to his lands. He can go top track or bottom track here. Went top track and add it here. That makes sense. Now we have a sacred site in each of those locations. So that was the blight. That flipped the blight card, and now we have the counter attack with 2 damage. That probably kills that town.
Build. Wetlands.
So we have a build in wetlands. This disease take care of this build. And we have 2 towns, and this disease take care of this build.
Explore. Coastal lands.
So we did have coastal lands. Now does that mean that this unearth or next? Or no? With no ravage build action in target land. So this is a coastal land, so this probably won't unearth, but this will unearth then. So we have an exploring coastal lands. But this is prevented from 1 wilds. So we have an unearthing here. So that's 12 damage. And then we can push this one and do 2 damage in an adjacent land. So let's see what he wants to kill here. Probably one of those. Or this one that is ravaging. Why not? That takes care of the ravage. Now it seems like this also is unearthing. After the next invader phase on any turn with no ravage build action in target land. Okay, so it's just about ravage and build. So I'm sorry, I thought it also meant for explore actions, but it didn't build or ravage here. So that's also an unearthing, successful unearthing. So that's is 12 damage, which should take care of everything here. 3, 5, 7, 8. Yeah. And then we can push it and do 2 damage in an adjacent land. He should push it here and kill that town. He doesn't kill that town, instead he kills explorers. That's interesting.
Slow powers.
In that instance, he chose to destroy 2 explorers for some reason. Maybe because he has a behemoth here, which do 2 damage, so it doesn't really matter. I'm guessing. First he playing Rain of Blood. He found a target to get 3 fear. These infested aquifers. Where does he want that? In a coastal land maybe? He adds it here. Where is it going to build even with behemoth innate? So it makes sense if it goes bottom here. Yeah. So now that will take care of that build, and behemoth can take care of the town.
Time passes. Turn 5. Grow phase.
Yeah, so all of that made perfect sense. Now this ravage will take care of that build anyways, but maybe he didn't see that, I'm not sure. So we have some ravages coming up here, 2 ravages that are cascading, and both will add 2 blight, and we only have 4 blight, so this is kind of important to solve. Then we have some builds in the coast here, but otherwise we are good. So we just need to take care of those ravages now. Somehow. Let's see what he can find. Starts with moving the behemoth. Moves it here. Kind of weird. This is already solved. Not sure what is doing there. And then we went second growth option. Top track. So we go all the way top deck to get 5 energy per turn here, which could be good. We can just reclaim and play Unearth. What about Hearth Vigil? First gathers one Dahan. He looks for a power. Maybe not the best choice here. Probably should reclaim. I'm not sure why he's doing that. Maybe he's desperate to find an answer and he couldn't find anything from his cards. Maybe. He has a lot of energy, so probably will go major here then. Yep. And did he get something to defend? This is only target land blight, not no blight, so you cannot use that one. This does not really solve anything, but maybe this will solve something. Probably can play that to solve one of those lands. I hope he goes instruments here. Yeah, he did that. And he gains some energy. He needs a sacred site here, but he does have a lot of sacred site all over the place.
Play powers.
Behemoth still has only 2 card plays, but he has opened up a lot of elements now, so he actually gets up to 3rd level here. Interesting. Hearth Vigil only has this power to play, but it is a rather good power.
Fast powers.
And it also allows him to gather 2 Dahan. First we have Terrifying Rampage. This can solve 1 Ravage. It solves this Ravage, which is exactly what we needed there. And then we have Instruments of Their Own Ruins. Unfortunately, we don't reach this land here. We place it in the same land here. So that makes sense that he picked this city. Then he can make 3 damage to the other guys. So it seems like he sold that land twice. But it also means that this strife will survive, since he won't ravish there at all. So it is useful to have that, to not participate in ravish there. Lastly, we have some Dahan movement, which he moves to a very weird spot. Maybe he wants to activate his Dahan here. He moves 1 Dahan. That's a typical computer move. And then we are out of powers.
Event.
Rising interest in the island. So this is return the top card of the invader deck to the box. If it chooses the top action, that means we will move more quickly. Unfortunately, we are only playing level 1, so we have all the cards still left in the Invader deck. So that's not too bad. So this is not, this is not so dangerous. But this can also be beneficial to remove the top fear card. That's 8 fear, basically. But they do a little bit more damage, which doesn't really matter, I think, in this instance. So the question is, do we afford 8 air? We can afford it, but it's rather expensive. Will you go for that? You can maybe forget this card for 4. Let's see what it chooses. He does go for the fear here. Then he has to pay 6 more, and he has the energy, so I guess he could pay it by energy or Rain of Blood. He forgot. Wait. Now I clicked the wrong button here. He did forget the power. But which one did he forget? Right, he has also some other powers here that he can forget. So he forgot Call to Vigilance. That's 4 energy worth. So that's 2 more energy that we need to pay for. We pay that probably with energy then. Behemoth lost 2 energy, and that means we can do the second option here, and that is we remove the top card, and that means we are almost to the 3rd stage here, fear level. During the next normal ravage, yeah, this doesn't really bother us. On each board, add 1 beast to a jungle without light. We can only do that here and here. And then we can add a wilds. Let's see what's coming up here. It can be one of those, but it chose the wetlands. Right, and then we have 1 wilds here. And he put it on the sides.
Fear.
So how are we doing with cities? We have only 2 cities here. So that's interesting. So we are rather close to winning here. Each player may gather 1 explorer or gather 1 town into a land with cities. Which one do we want to do? Can probably take care of preventing something here. Wanted to gather town in here. Interesting. Why did you want to do that? Maybe gather them up to the same place. And then gather 1 explorer somewhere. That can take care of this build probably. Right. Each player chooses a different land to isolate. Defend 2 in those lands. Do we need defense 2 somewhere? I don't think so. This doesn't matter. It's too much damage. So he probably goes for the isolate here. So this is isolated. And this is isolated. Then we have each player chooses a different land. Gather up to 2 Dahan, then 1 damage if Dahan is present. This still is not that much damage. we'll get some Dahan in here for the counterattack. Probably can kill that city. And now we can bring some presence with us, making those Dahan that much more powerful. But he chose not to for some reason. Of course, this this has strifed invaders, so it won't do any much damage. So maybe he thinks it doesn't really matter. 2 invaders won't participate in Ravage, so if he wants to, he can pick those invaders and then kill that city. I hope he does that. And what else here? 1 damage. Right, so he has to kill one. He has to do 1 damage here. He doesn't want to kill that because then those 2 invaders does not participate in Ravage and then they cannot kill the city. So hopefully he will damage the city or town. Let's see. Yeah, that makes sense. And here we have 1
Ravage.
explorer
Wetlands.
killed. Right, so now 2 invaders do not participate in Ravage, and hopefully he chooses these 2 then. He does do that, excellent. That means that city will die. It is like that. So now we have only 1 city left here. That bodes well. And I think these explorers will simply die. And this will be a cascade here. So what was this? This is just immediately, so this has no effect.
Build. Coastal lands.
And now we just have to see if there will be some nasty builds here. We will have just 2 towns here as far as I can see.
Explore. Jungles.
And then the explorer is probably too far away from, yeah, this explorer won't happen. We just have 1 explorer here and 1 escalation. Put that town here among all the stuff. And 1 here.
Slow powers.
Which unfortunately made this one explore, or this one had this source. Why didn't we get an explorer here then? Wait, let's see what happened here. First we got 1 town here. Got 1 town here. Why didn't it get explorer? Oh yeah, this was isolated, that's why. So when something is isolated, of course, it doesn't count as a source. So that's why it didn't explore there. What about this town? Why did this get an explorer? Was this also isolated, perhaps? Yeah, it was. Okay then, just checking that the client is correct. And now we have some slow powers. This will do a lot of damage, but it only does damage here. And this also cannot reach the coast. We need to put some presence over here or we won't be able to hurt that city. So this takes care of this town. And unfortunately he played it in a place where he didn't have presence, so we didn't get that extra badlands. Where did he play Smash, Stomp, and Flatten? That takes care of this town then. And we can push that Dahan somewhere.
Time passes. Turn 6. Grow phase.
Right, so we only have this city we need to kill. We are at stage 3, or we can just simply try to get a lot of fear. But we do have Ravage coming up here in coastal lands, so this is critical that we are solving this prompto. He looks for a major, perhaps. He has a lot of energy. So if he can find something, oh, he goes minor. Why do you go minor here? That's not good. A minor won't be able to kill a city. Yeah, so that's silly. That is what he did. Are you going for the innate and trying to get the behemoth there? That I don't think will work. This is 2 damage from Sacred Site. That won't be enough. He uses his Behemoth Rises. Please at least go towards the coast here. Yeah, he did do that, so that means he can add a presence here and he will get a Sacred Site. But still that is slow power, so I'm not sure if he's going to be able to save that Ravage. And he didn't even put it here, he put it in the other board. Now he has to discard a fire card, unfortunately. So yeah, that makes sense that he used it on this one. He doesn't really need more wiles. So it's up to Hearth Vigil then to solve this problem, and he has to rely on a major then that take care of this city in the fast phase, or we have to be lucky in the fear card or event. Let's see if we can find a major here. This is a slow power, unfortunately, but this is fast, but this is not, has not range enough. It also target land no blight, so that doesn't work. This could have worked if we had presence a bit closer. Of course, we can just simply add a presence closer, so why didn't we use this one? Defend 20 should be enough. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. But we also have this land that we have to solve. Yeah, he simply didn't find a solution here, seems like. So we gather one Dahan. It's a presence. He adds it in this land. Maybe we can get something working here, some defense or something. Not sure.
Play powers.
That's just simply 2 damage, and this behemoth is in the wrong space. And here we only have tigers hunting, which don't really solve anything.
Fast powers.
Seems like it's up to the event and fear if we are going to win this. So let's just get as much fear as possible. Maybe we can get one more fear card. He can push both beasts if he wants to. He does do that. Spreads them out, why not? There's a lot of beasts around here. And then he went keep watch for new excursions. So this board is rather clear, also this board, but we do have that Ravages coming up. So let's see if we can find an event or something that takes care of this.
Event.
Far Off War Touch the Island is interesting, because this is for fear and destroys that city, but it also adds to blight, so that should be a sacrifice victory then. Yeah, this seems like it should be winning. First we got one more fear card, that doesn't matter, we just need to kill that city. So we should win if we pick the right option here. The left option, or the encourage destruction option. He did do that. That means one town should be destroyed and one city. So that is a sacrifice victory, because we run out of blight, but we simultaneously got rid of all cities. So that is counted as a victory. Now I'm not sure if that counts as a full victory, but as far as my campaign system, how that works is that just sacrifice victory is counted as a win. So that means both these spirits will survive to later. So yeah, that was very, very close. Now of course we have 2 fear cards here, or we had at least 1 fear card before this, and that could also have maybe removed that city. We are at stage 3, so that's not highly unlikely. Anyway, it was an interesting game. In the end we turned out victorious. And yeah, if you have any questions about the client, about the AI and so forth, please let me know. I can answer any questions in the comment section below. And if you like this kind of videos, please subscribe, and that way you will get notification when I put up my new games. And yeah, and that's it for this video. See you next time. Bye for now.